today I want to talk about something that's really important, and that is two common fallacies around the idea of happily ever after. Now, perhaps happily ever after is a little bit more of a girly idea, but the truth is that no matter who you are, whether you are a husband or a wife, everybody gets married with the idea that their life is going to be better, that you chose somebody who is going to make your life better, and you're going to have this incredible happy marriage that hopefully you get to the end of and you think, man, I can't believe my life was so awesome. So when you make that decision to get married, life is fantastic, right? You've got this person by your side and it's the two of you against the world and everything else, and you are in it. You're in it to win it, and you're doing it together. That's how most of us think. Let me know if it was different for you, but that's how most of us think on our wedding day. And so we all crave that connection, that companionship, that couplehood that makes us stronger. But we're fed these ideas through popular culture, through Hollywood movies, through, well-meaning church doctrine that once we get married, life is going to be awesome. It's going to be better, right? And so the first fallacy I want to point out about the idea of living happily ever after is that the work stops once you've gotten married. And many of the clients and couples that I see together, it's something that really affects their relationship until one or both partners decides that they want out, because their partner isn't appreciating them, isn't working on themselves, isn't working on the marriage, isn't putting in the work and the effort that is required to make your marriage amazing and meaningful. So I think that sometimes we stumble upon this idea that once we've courted each other and once we've gone to the altar and we've said I do, that it's not any work anymore. It's like I've locked them in. They said I do, for better, for worse, in sickness and in health. So I just get to chill, and I've got this person who is bound to my side and has to be there forever. But the truth and the reality is that we always have the option to leave. Your spouse doesn't have to stick with you through the thick and the thin, even though they said that they would, and commitment means different things to different people. That doesn't mean that we just get to sit on the couch and do nothing and not contribute and, not show love and not consistently be working to improve our relationship. Now, I know that many of you know that, and that's probably why you're here, but I do have an inkling that perhaps some of you do feel like, I don't understand, like it's supposed to be awesome, like here we are, we're married, we love each other, we've started this life together, and why all of a sudden did it get so difficult? And life comes at you fast, right? It's like you're young and you're in love and you're not firing on all cylinders, because that all of the hormones produced by falling in love don't allow you to see a lot of the imperfections and different things that are going to come up in your marriage. But then you start your life together and you've got bills to pay, you've got car payments and mortgage payments, and you've got kids and distractions and your careers and all of these things that pull your attention away from your primary marriage relationship, which is the most important. And so it's very easy to allow your spouse and your marriage to fall down on your list of priorities, and you're not putting as much effort into the relationship, and that is definitely going to take its toll. So saying I do and getting to the altar is not the end of the work that we need to put in to make our marriages really fulfilling and thriving and healthy and all of the things. So that's fallacy number one. The work does not end when you get to the altar or when you say I do. That is when the work actually begins. And that's when you get to create the life, the love story, the happily ever after that you've dreamed of. You've got to put in the work. It's just like anything else that's worth having. So that's fallacy number one. Fallacy number two has to do with this idea created as well by Hollywood and popular culture that this other person is completing you, and that it's their job now to make you happy, or that it's your job to make them happy. I see a lot of miserable marriages because they think that this other person was put in their life to serve them, to make them happy, to ensure that they have all the things that they need. And you somehow are responsible for your partner's happiness. And if they're not happy, then maybe you're doing something wrong, or maybe they're defective. Whatever your ideas around that are, the fallacy is that we are actually capable of making somebody else happy. The truth is that we cannot make anyone else happy. No matter what you've been taught in your life or whatever you've seen, we cannot make another person feel any way. You're responsible for your own happiness, and your partner is responsible for their own happiness. And then the beautiful thing about marriage is you get to share that happiness with each other. You get to witness each other go through the highs and the lows, the happy and the sad. You can't fix things for your partner. You can't make them enjoy things. You can't do their own personal development and soul searching and heal their wounds for them. You can just be a safe place for them to move through all of the different stages and experiences of life and confide in you and be a partner and a team with you. And true love isn't two people that are dependent on each other. True love is two independent people who choose every single day to be with the other person, flaws and all. None of us are perfect. Nobody has it all figured out, but it's that point when you become aware that you, an imperfect person, have married another imperfect person, and the two of you are going to figure out this life together. The two of you are going to share all the good, the bad, and the ugly with each other, and you're going to create your life together. Now, that's not going to be without its challenges. Life is about overcoming challenges, and we get to choose to do that with our spouse. And a lot of times, most of the time, you're going to be drawn to somebody who is very different than you. And those differences, as you mature and go through your marriage, are going to become very apparent to you. You're going to be able to see your partner's weaknesses better than anybody else. That's one of the beautiful things about marriage, is you can't hide your flaws and imperfections from your partner. You're too close. If you're doing marriage correctly, you've got another person who's going to call you out on all of the things that you wish were not visible to anyone. But this actually can be so great. And the magic of marriage is that together, when you create a loving, trusting, safe environment that's full of curiosity and vulnerability, which we can talk about another time, you can heal all the wounds of your childhood. You can create this beautiful, magical environment where both of you get to grow. There's room for both of you to grow and develop into the very best versions of yourself. But I guarantee it's not going to be without effort and investment and a lot of heartache. So there you go. Happily ever after is absolutely possible. And that is my hope and my prayer for every single one of you, that you will realize that happily ever after is possible, but you have to be willing to invest. You have to be willing to work at it. You have to be willing to choose your partner despite all of the hard and the weakness and the imperfections that might be very apparent to you. And you have to be willing to take influence from them on where you can grow and improve and become better. So you can either look at that as a burden or you can look at it as a blessing. So that is my little spiel about the two fallacies around happily ever after. Keep finding ways to become better and keep playing ball. Keep putting effort in, keep improving, keep practicing, and keep learning all that you can about your spouse so that you truly can create that happily ever after that I know is possible and I know is so wonderful.
To learn more ways to deepen your intimacy and strengthen your relationship, make sure you watch this video next.